Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm so grateful that you're here. If you don't know me, my name's Aria. I am a jazz pop singer-songwriter based in Canada, and I am super excited to do this video today. I was looking back in my past history of videos and everything, and I honestly have not done a sit-down video since January of last year. So it's been a while, and I really appreciate vulnerability in artists when they can kind of just share some of their goals or some really honest reflections about themselves. So that's what I'm going to do today. I really like getting to know people as a person rather than just their music and what they create, although that's super important as well. So I really want to do that today, and I want to share a little bit about who I am and my past reflections as well as my goals that are to come. So I hope you enjoy, and without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so my past year has been a little bit crazy. I have done a lot of shows. I think when I counted, I've done 30 to 50 shows this year, which is absolutely wild. But if you're following my social media, you've probably seen that I've done a lot, and it's been super busy. So it's been a little crazy. I've wrote, I think, 4 songs this year as well. So a very busy year. And something that I do when things get really busy is I freak out and I get crazy. No, I'm kidding. I follow a schedule, and it's pretty tight. So I have I'm just kind of reading off to the side here, but I will put up a little photo of what my current schedule looks like. I do practice in the morning. So piano, singing, guitar, everything. I do that right in the morning, get it right off the hop. I do that to kind of ensure that, when I have the bulk of my work to do, whether it's homework or festival applications or emails to send or videos to edit, getting my practice, my solid routine done right in the morning is golden. It's so good. And then another part of my schedule that I really focused on this year was doing my songwriting in the evening, which I really liked because I'm very much a night owl. I get my creative spark at 2 a.m. and I wake up and I have to write. And it's nice when you kind of put that right in the evening. I find that it's kind of gets all that creativity out. It gets my thoughts moving, gets the juices flowing, if you will. But it's really important to stick to a schedule. So that's number one thing that worked really well for me this year was a schedule. And the next thing that really worked for me this year was keeping a content calendar so that I can kind of keep track of, when I want to film, when I want to post, when I want to edit, all that good stuff. Excuse me. And my friend showed me how to do that, which was really lovely of him. He also works in marketing and social media, so it was really nice to kind of have that expertise and experience guiding me to make this content calendar. One of my biggest shows this year was playing the Sidewalk Days Festival, which was a really cool experience. I think looking back on all of my performances, that was probably one of the highlights, as well as headlining the Saskatchewan Festival of Words. They were super big shows, very, very fun. Also, Saskatoon Pride was a big show as well. And I honestly, for the first time performing at these events, I feel good. I have a lot of notes, obviously, on I want to work on my sound, building that very forward and bright sound. Obviously, I have goals with that. Transportation, I always bring a friend now, or I'll bring my friend and get them a coffee, bring them, get them dinner, that kind of thing, to thank them, because I always need a friend to help me transport. Yeah, so that is something I've definitely learned this year is I always need someone to help me transport equipment, because it's so hard to do it alone. I've just realized you gotta ask for help. Always ask for help. If you don't know what you're doing, I've had, a couple events where I've showed up and I'm what is going on with this stage plot? I don't know where I'm supposed to be. I don't even know how to work their equipment because it's just a little wonky. Maybe their amp is confusing to me. I don't know, I'd rather look stupid than not ask a question. And so even though it's super embarrassing sometimes, like I had a fundraiser that I was a part of this year, and I honestly did not understand the stage plot. I was so confused. I really was super embarrassed to ask for help, but I'm super glad I did, because I honestly learned more coming out of that event than if I had not asked a question. If I had to label this year, I honestly would label it the year of rejection. That sounds kind of a lot, but I was rejected so many times this year. And I just want to put that out there again, because this is something you don't see on social media. You don't see it on my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube. I was rejected a lot this year, from festivals, from events, from development programs for recording artists. And it's very hard to deal with rejection. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. It's very hard, and I have realized that rejection is protection. And this is something that I kind of learned through a self-help book, if you will, and that is Worthy by Jamie Kern-Lima. And it was such a good read. If you are someone who is spiritual or religious, I honestly would give it a good read. Even if you're not, it honestly has such a profound look at, you know, building a good sense of self-esteem, and dealing with rejection. So I honestly recommend this book. I read it this year, and I just got this sense of, like, you know, when we are rejected from things, it can be so devastating, and it honestly can, you know, take a blow to our self-esteem. But once we realize that that actually is protecting us from, you know, having bad experiences, or protecting us from, you know, potentially experiences that don't support us at that time of our life. For example, like, there were several events that I applied for this year that I probably wasn't ready for. But just doing that, just getting the experience applying for these events is so valuable. And not only that, I probably wasn't ready for them in that point in my life. So I know that that is protection. That kind of rejection is protection for me at this point. And when I apply to those the next year, the year to come, I know that when I do get these events, that protection served its purpose. So I know it's super kind of hippy-dippy, kind of spiritual, but I really resonate with that. So maybe it'll resonate with you. Okay, on to 2025 goals, aspirations, resolutions, whatever you want to call them. So starting with my music goals, my music career, what I want to achieve this year. So I have here my 3 main goals with my music career are the following. I want to work on building connections, working on creating a band, because I hope to have that collaboration and that experience this year. My second goal is I want to perform outside of the province. So I have applied to festivals in Edmonton, Medicine Hat, and Calgary. So that is something that I am really looking forward to, something that I am really preparing for in the next few months. And the third goal is I am planning to record an EP or single in the fall. So it's very nerve-wracking for me, very nerve-wracking to like share these goals, but I really am a big believer in like accountability. So sharing these goals is making me accountable to do these things this year. And I always follow the SMART goal process. I know a lot of people probably remember doing this in school, where you have like the specific, measurable, attainable, like the whole SMART goal. But I actually love those goals, and I really resonated with them as a kid. So I currently still use that. For example, I have like, for S, I want to develop my music skills further as an artist and perform, and then I have my goals. But yeah, some of the things that I'm doing this year to kind of achieve these goals is I'm planning to write a new song every month. So with my schedule that I mentioned earlier, like having my practicing in the morning and my songwriting in the evening, that is kind of designed so that I'm going to write a new song every month. And I'm trying to put less and less pressure on myself about this, because I am very much a perfectionist. I like things to be as perfect as possible, and that is a good thing to an extent, but it is debilitating for creativity. So I've been actively trying to let go and to just come up with what is there in the moment. So although I do have a very strict songwriting process, I really, really value just letting go and seeing what comes up. So that is kind of my goal for this year. I also have plans to attend songwriters meetings and attending one live music event each month to try and network. I also have plans to reach out to a couple producers this year and a few other local musicians, which I hope to connect with and potentially collaborate in the future, which would be so exciting. I, again, also have plans to get more involved with Sask Music, and I have a few people that I have been collaborating with as well at the moment, which I hope to continue to. I also will be working with my piano instructor as well as my vocal coach. So those are two people that I hope to kind of build more connections with and really help me develop my skills in the future. I also have a workshop this month that is all about the recording process, because I, especially as someone who is a perfectionist and wants to be so involved in my music, I hope to co-produce. So I am trying to gain those experiences now, learn about what it's like to be singing into a mic, because it's a very, very different experience than singing live. Learn about what it's like to mix and master and like have those basics of information. I do have a like very minimal home setup, which I have posted about before on here, but I really am hoping to develop my skills a little bit further and really focus on my sound and what I want to actually actively bring into the studio. All right, so now going into more of my personal goals. I am hoping to make some plans this year with healthy eating and being active. So very loose goals, but I'm hoping to really be intentional about with the fuel that I put in my body. So making sure that I am having enough protein every day, that I'm avoiding sugary foods, and that I'm overall, working on getting those vitamins and minerals that I need, especially through fruits and veggies. I'm also hoping to be active every day. So I have plans to work out every day. I have a little bit of a workout schedule, which I am really excited to follow and get involved with. I want to try out some swimming exercises as well. And I also have plans to go for walks every day with my dog, which honestly helps my mental health more than my physical health. But it's honestly so good for the body, the mind, the soul. So I am really excited to continue with that this year and really focus on making healthy decisions and building these healthy routines for the future. I guess this next goal is kind of in part with my music, but I really want to work on saving and really building a solid income. So especially with music and the way that grants work, you do have to contribute 50%. So with the recording process, you do have to step up and contribute financially. Of course, that is the expectation. So I have kind of some personal plans to continue with my tutoring business, continue with different places that I volunteer with that I do get honorarium, and to also continue working as an educational assistant. So I have quite a few jobs that I'm going to continue working with, as well as, my grant hall performances and my coffee house performances, all those things, and making sure that I'm putting away money each month. So I have some personal goals for that and really building a sense of stability, as well as saving up for those recordings, because that is really important to me. And my final goal for this year is to develop my personal style. And I've been seeing a lot of people have this as their New Year's resolution this year, and it really inspired me to think about my personal style and to really develop a sense of comfortability as well as confidence. I think it's really normal, especially like if you're in your early 20s to 30s, your body changes quite a bit. You gain weight, you lose weight, your body is bound to change. So I want to make sure that within those changes that I'm feeling good and confident in my body. I have the goal here. I want to develop my style further to be comfortable and confident. I will thrift a new outfit each month. So my plan with this is to create a Pinterest board all about, style, things that I'm like, oh yeah, I would feel super confident in that. I could wear that performing. I could wear that out with my friends. That makes me feel good. So my hope is that I'll pick kind of a Pinterest outfit each month and then attempt to thrift that with friends each month. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy that you decided to click on this video today. Again, I am really looking forward to these goals and these resolutions this year, and it's such a cool thing to be able to share this with an audience online and share my reflections with it. We can kind of interact and talk about it. So I really hope that this has maybe inspired you to think about your own resolutions and maybe even your own music goals for the next year. And I hope to see you soon.